It's funny, Alice. TikTok, it's not that TikTok has been for me, it's that somebody's after me on TikTok. Today, some idiot congressman decided to start impeachment proceedings against Trump, as usually happens every 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they banned it from me. They struck it and banned the video. And, there's no... All it was a video, a C-SPAN video of the guy saying, I'm going to impeach Trump. So there is, no vetting on the side of, the banners and TikTok. They make you just go do it. And then they warn you and say, this is your seventh time, It's no, it's your seventh time letting some a-hole lie to you on some form somewhere. But somebody definitely trying to mess with me.
It's probably your daughter, to be honest. She probably wants you off TikTok.
Well, I think she's hidden on TikTok. But very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. Going on in the world today is that we found out. It's funny because I've been so watching it all today, all of the USAID stuff. Mm-hmm. Earlier today, it said looks like USAID paid millions to the BBC, millions to the AP, and then millions to Politico, multi-millions to Politico. And all this does is show you that the establishment media, the ones who made the most noise about Trump, are on the take, are all getting money. One of these reporters had said this, I think I played some of the audio with Tara Palmieri talking to Mark Caputo. He had talked about being at Politico and them killing a story of his and never knowing why. It all makes sense now that they've literally been getting funneled money from the government.
Yeah, not just USAID. It's not that money is not just coming from that, but it's all these people in all these departments having what's, I guess, a Politico Pro subscription, which are the expensive professional class subscriptions so that you have all the key inside information from Politico. But once again, if your business model is reliant on the federal government paying you a lot of money, then you are now beholden to the federal government.
Well, right, but that's the way you do it if you wanted plausible deniability.
Right, and it is a plausible deniability thing, but it's also the case that their business model doesn't work financially unless they get a lot of taxpayer money.
Exactly.
Which, that's fine, but to think that that wouldn't influence their reporting, especially when you have the Hunter Biden stuff and all these different pieces, that's not an okay way for a publication that purports to be an unbiased news source that's going to hold those in power to account. If you can't hold those in power to account if your business model relies on those in power paying you money.
Of course.
Obviously. I mean, it's
they paid them off. They've paid them off.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. So now they're just in the bag for it. And we always knew this. These are the people. Politico was the people who, sat in the Hunter Biden stuff. This has always been the fix. This is why they're panicking so much about USAID and them going into all these files. And why the left is just panicking, saying Elon Musk is a dictator. He wants to steal all your stuff, etc. They have been found out. We have officially, they've officially exposed the collusion. It's exposed. Everything you always thought was always right.
Well, right. And what's funny is that none of this would even be a story right now. None of this scandal of all these different places that are getting money and how corrupt they all are and how it's such a grift if Trump hadn't cut them off and they all cried about it.
Totally.
Right? It's just because they so loudly complained when Trump shut off USAID and Doge came in and started looking for efficiencies. They all said, wait a minute, that's how I get paid. And everybody went, wait, that's how you get paid? Hang on a second. And the fact that they've been going on this long and haven't seen any problem with this being the setup in Washington, D.C. tells you that they didn't think they either didn't think Trump would really win or they didn't think he would really do this, which, I mean, he didn't in his first term, so I guess that's fair. But, you know, I think this was what people really wanted, was to go after Washington, D.C. because, you know, what's the stat that like 9 of the 10 wealthiest zip codes are in the Washington, D.C. area?
Right.
You know, they're in those like Virginia, Maryland zip codes right around DC. And that's all money that's coming from the American taxpayer and funding lavish lifestyles for people who work in government, for the lobbyists, for the reporters, for the lawyers, for all these different types of people that are just making money off this free spigot of government money that flows into Washington, D.C. And so, like, this was what people, and, you know, people didn't have all the numbers in front of them of, like, how do people at Politico get rich from my money, but people had a general sense that all these people in Washington, D.C. wouldn't be rich if there weren't a bunch of taxpayer money there that was basically free for them. And, of course, they turned out to be right? So once Trump starts flipping breakers to see what happens when you turn off the flow to this part of the government or to that part, right? You start to see who gets upset and where the corruption is.
Exactly. What was that they said, like there was a delay in Politico's payroll this week?
Yeah, so unclear if that's related.
It's related, like, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not looking any further into it. Absolutely. Their payroll was delayed because, of course,
they're saying it was a technical glitch.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it definitely seems suspect. A lot of news organizations have had trouble paying employees in recent years.
Yes.
And so the fact that places like Politico have a free influx of government money to continue to exist tells you how their reporters remain like part of this elite class, right?
Of course.
So, I mean, of course, it's what everybody thought, but that's why this upsets all these Washington creatures so much. Did you see Hillary Clinton weigh in a few hours ago about the Doge crew?
Yes.
You know, Sean Duffy had tweeted, "Big news, talk to the Doge team. They're going to plug in to help upgrade our aviation system." And Hillary Clinton tweeted, "They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car, and you're going to let them mess with airline safety that's already deteriorated on your watch?" So wait, first of all, how long has Sean Duffy been
maybe
secretary?
24 hours?
So how can he possibly have deteriorated airline safety in that amount of time?
They're all in on all of this. All they say, if you listen to Chris Murphy now, all they say is wacky stuff. Donald Trump caused the airline collision. Elon Musk has signaled to Nazis. All they're saying is Fantasyland stuff now. They don't know what to say anymore. They're out of the things to say.
And Trish points out in the chat, Hillary turned off comments on the tweet.
Right.
They can't handle any pushback on their opinions because their opinions are all nuts, or at least like what they say their opinions are, right? It's all nuts. It's all crazy. It's all playing to their crazy audience that gets smaller by the day. You know, our friends on social media that we see buy into this stuff. It just goes on and on. Speaking of Politico, right? I subscribe to the Politico email newsletter, Politico Top Lines, that you just get in your inbox with supposedly the top headlines of the day. So I was looking for what they said today, given their funding problems that they're having. And their headline is, "And to top it all off, a shutdown." And to top it all off, imagine, like, as a political newsletter, that's their headline. That's where they are, all of them. All the news media, all the political class in D.C., all of these people right now are like chickens with their heads cut off, running around. And to top it all off, a shutdown? Like, the frantic panic that they're all exuding is out of control. Like, they can't rein it in a little bit and just act normal for a minute.
Alice, it's not just the political class. It's the Lexington High School class of 2005.
That's true.
Thankfully,
That's
if you were
true.
in that class, as Alice was, there was a wellness check put out there.
So it's supposed to be our 20-year reunion this year. And so our class president posted, we have a Facebook group for planning reunions, and our class president posted, "Hi, class of 2005. I waited to follow up on this as I know there was a lot going on in January." So at this point, I'm thinking, like, what does she mean there was a lot going on in January? January is not really a time when there's, like, a lot going on.
Right.
You know, if you said a lot going on in December, I would think, like, oh, yeah, the holidays, vacation, people are, like, doing stuff in a way. There was a lot going on in January. "I hope everyone is doing well and that you and your families are all safe." And then it goes on to, like, do a poll of the dates of when we should have the reunion. I hope everyone is doing well and you and your families are all safe.
What do they assume?
Could it possibly be the California wildfires?
Can I ask you a question? How many illegal immigrants did you have in your graduating class?
I don't believe any.
Okay. Well, who else is Trump trying to destroy and kill?
LGBTQIA plus Americans.
No. Well, I mean, how about who else is he killing and destroying? How many Gazans were in your class?
None. I don't.
Because Trump is mean to them. I'm not trying to figure out who is exactly.
There were Israelis in my high school class.
Yeah, but Trump is down
Likes
with them.
them, yeah.
So I mean, it's amazing. Like, how do you go and grow up in Lexington? Everybody doing well. Everybody came up for money, and need to look around and say, "Hope everybody's safe." What would make you not safe?
Yeah, who's not safe right now?
Like, what's going on? Unless, of course, you believe that he's an authoritarian and he's going to ship you off. And I've had friends of mine who I worked with in the hotel who were like working dudes who were like, I hope I don't get rounded up. It's what the. Who do you think? What is it about your listening to NPR that you think that Trump's intel
That's
people are going to grab
radio.
you? I don't get it.
That's like pirate radio. Do you remember I told you early in like our time of doing Burn Barrel that I had a dream that we were like on the road and doing Burn Barrel by like ham radio because we were like on the run, resistance movement. But like I can recognize that was a dream and in my imagination, but the left thinks that's what they're really in.
It's amazing.
They think they're like we're in a post-apocalyptic hellscape right now, and Trump is like trying to put them in camps. I know a lot was going on in January. I hope you're all safe. Like safe from what? I guess somebody could have been impacted by the California wildfires potentially.
But that's obviously not what she means.
I mean, like, yeah.
She means that there's rounded up because of Trump or rounded. I don't know what like how many. And how come the biggest panickers are in the nicest towns, where absolutely nothing would ever happen? Did you feel like, by the way, did they feel like they were like part of a resistance with the "Hate Has No Home Here" yard signs?
I think they did.
And they're going to come for us now because we stood up for the people who were downtrodden.
Yeah, they think Trump's going to come for them with their "Hate Has No Home Here" signs. They're going to like be arrested.
Meanwhile, Nancy Mace
for standing up for the rights of trans athletes.
I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and
she used the word tranny several times.
Not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
It's
disgusting.
the gentlelady has used a phrase that is considered a slur in the LGBTQ community and the transgender community. And
some of them also use that word.
Yeah. But so, what is? Where do you get the list of things that are now? You know, if Jasmine Crockett had said it because she's pro all these people, then that'd be fine.
Of course.
But since this lady doesn't like people in bathroom, and it's considered offensive in the trans, I gives a frig. If any, I'll take this all day. This just smashing of these rules. You can't say this. You can't say retard. You can't say tranny. You can't. Since when? It was just tranny. It was also just transsexual. Who's the official?
Or Trish brings up the word queer in the chat.
Right.
That like that used to be a slur and now it's like reclaimed, quote unquote, or
Right.
whatever.
It's like all these arbiters of language. Oh, it's such. And for a guy to mention this,
Let me please finish without interruption. And
I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Let
It's
Chairman,
disgusting. Does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million?
to me, a slur is a slur. And here in the committee, a level of decorum requires us to try consciously to avoid slurs. And so I would ask, as a parliamentary inquiry, whether the use of that phrase is not, in fact, a violation of the decorum rules.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to be counseled by a man over men in women's spaces or men who have mental health issues dressing as women. I'm not being counseled by some guy.
My inquiry is to
over
the
this.
chairman.
that said, her game is the game is out there for everybody to be seen. I get it. She's going with this. She found a hobby horse here, and she's sticking with it for the time being. But I am not. I'm simply sick of any rules on any of this stuff. Stuff you're allowed to say or not allowed to say anymore, or stuff you're allowed to do or not do. I've done it. Alice, I have a new favorite comic. This guy has only 11,000 followers on TikTok. Twitter. His name is Ami Kozak.
Wow, only 11,000?
Yeah.
How many do you have again?
Like 9,000 or not even, but around there. It's AJ comedy. This guy is freaking fantastic. He does a Tucker Carlson.
I mean, the opening scene where they're storming the beach at Normandy, I was offended by that, actually.
how were you offended?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't want anyone on my beach if I was building a sandcastle with my family, with my children, and soldiers started coming on. I would be offended by that, deeply offended by that. And it's their beach. I mean, what are they doing on the beach to begin with?
Well, Nazi Germany had invaded.
I mean, come on. How freaking good is that?
It is a good Tucker Carlson.
He also does. This is why this guy's the best. He does a Douglas K. Murray impression.
Okay.
Well, yes, Douglas Murray, yes. Well, you have to realize that you're fighting an enemy, Elon, that is not only committing these atrocities, but they were absolutely elated when they did it. And I'm sorry, Hezbollah says, oh, no, we just want to fire rockets in peace. Well, I'll tell you this, I want Israel to win, Elon, and that's what I want. I would like a world in which there's a liberal democracy in the Middle East that protects the rights of its citizens. And I care very deeply about this. But if you don't, maybe you can go back to your basement where you're from. And I can tell very much by what you've just said that there are people who just dwell in their basements like Chenky. It's absolutely disgusting. Well, good luck with that.
He's freaking fantastic. This guy. There's one more that he's got. It's from today, I think. Let me see if I can find it. That is so freaking good, and he must have just come up with this one. This is him, Donald Trump with Netanyahu. This is from, obviously, earlier today. Freaking good.
All right, baby, I think we're going to take Syria, too.
Of course, have at it.
All right, we'll get some folks
He's
from
both
Deal,
guys. He's both people.
I get it.
New Jersey, and we'll settle it.
Sounds good to me.
That's why I call it the art of the deal.
Sure.
I was talking about New Jersey.
Sounds good. Okay, what can I have?
You want Montana?
Tucker?
No, the state.
Oh, the state. Okay, what do they have there?
It's a beautiful state. There's not that many people there, but there's great skiing, great mountains.
We could build an Israeli mall there.
You can build a mall.
We call it Montana Mamila.
Sure.
Montana Mamila, banana fana fafila.
Mamila. Melania?
Me and my Mamila.
Mamila. Great. What about California?
Come on. Guy is just so freaking good. He's just so freaking good. I love that like he's deep into these characters that he does. He does a great Jordan Peterson, which I just want to grab his Jordan Peterson.
Okay. What's his name again, this guy?
His name is Ami Kozak. AMIKOZAK.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is just absolutely fantastic. Come on, where is the Jordan Peterson one? Let me see. It's Lara Trump. But he's got a Lara Trump, which tells you like
He's very in the weeds politically, clearly.
yes.
Not that many mainstream comics have a Lara Trump impersonation.
Correct. Actually, he's got a Dave Ramsey, Alice.
I'm about $5,000 in debt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my wife found out and she's filing for divorce.
She's filing for divorce for $5,000 in debt?
Yes, sir, and we got 3 kids and everything.
Was there anything else going on in the marriage before this?
Well, yes, I went to Mexico and slept with like 17 other women and then got HIV and then passed it off to her.
Oh, wow.
So now she has it.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably it.
Hi, Dave.
Hang on. Phil, Alice, I just want to find my Jordan Peterson.
That is a good Dave Ramsey, though. I wish it were more financial because his financial advice can be quite funny sometimes, too. But the chat's divided on the Douglas Murray. Trish likes it, but Mark doesn't, but he likes the Trump. So, yeah.
Oh, come on. You know
I
what?
don't know.
I'm going to have to look.
Who were you looking for again?
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson. Okay, well, you can find it.
Hold on. I
Yeah.
got to find this. I just had it
You
today. I
have
thought
to
I
find
sent it to us.
But yeah, it does make you wonder a little bit, like, what sort of person is this into all these political characters? Do you have any sense? Is he left wing or right wing?
No, he's a big conservative guy.
Okay.
Come on. Shit.
No. I mean, I think what I found especially funny about the Tucker one too is that it's getting at the, like, Tucker, where everybody's been accusing Tucker of, like, cozying up too much to the Hitler side of World War II, like being a little too understanding of the Nazi point of view on World War II. So it's very clearly like somebody who's been paying attention a lot to the discourse around, like, Tucker
he's deep
and
into
the
it.
whole thing. Yeah.
And it's like, and he's organically funny in a way that is, I mean, this is how the right steals the mantle of comedy and entertainment.
Well, yeah, because you have to, and that's why I asked if he's right wing or left wing, because I couldn't really tell, because that's sort of a mark of good comedy, is that you should be able to make fun of your own side as much, if not more, than the other side. Right. And that's a big part of why, like, the Babylon Bee is funny a lot is, I mean, they do make fun of liberals, you know, obviously, but they also make fun of conservatives a lot at the Babylon Bee, and particularly, like, the sort of evangelical community that they sprung out of. Like,
sure,
you can make the best fun out of your own group of people because you know them the best, you know? So if you refuse to do that and only make fun of, quote, the other side, then you're obviously not going to be that funny just to start off.
Right. Okay. This is a guy named Elon Levy who's interviewing him as Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Ha! Well, you know, I don't really like the way the question is formulated because you're... Elon, you know, it's like, well, Israel is a shining city on a hill. You know, when you're doing that, trekking your way through the abyss. You know, it's into the abyss of hell. You know, living in a situation that's not simple. It's not. So Israel needs to stand up straight with its shoulders back and be a bloody lobster. That's what I would say. Even though
bloody lobster. That is a good Jordan Peterson.
So there you go.
Like
the guy's made me very, very happy. Very, very happy. What else is going on, LB?
Not much in my world, I have to tell you. I'm excited about the Trump sports bill, though, for women's sports. But I do wonder, like, and I didn't look that closely at it yet, but how is that going to be enforced in places like Massachusetts where you can literally change your birth certificate? Like, with no record that it's even been changed.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, this is going to be a big battle between the federal government and the states.
Yes.
Ultimately, because there are states right now that are literally falsifying people's documents with no record that they've been changed. Like, if in Massachusetts you go and you request somebody's birth certificate, like, you need a court order to find out what sex they are.
It's amazing.
So, I mean, it's going to be a problem. And it's a problem because, you know, like, there are actual legitimate reasons why you would want to know somebody's biological sex.
Of course. Of course.
And it's so, it's funny because I have this conversation with our kids and like, I was talking to our daughter and she was saying like she couldn't believe it because this kid that she and her friends hang out with, that's he's not like a big strong guy who's on the football team. He's sort of like a scrawnier guy. But she said, she was like, I couldn't believe it because we're all athletes and we're so strong and like we couldn't open this jar and he opened this jar. And can you believe that this kid opened this jar and he's so like weak and all this stuff? And I was like, he's weak for a boy. But like, it doesn't matter if he's weak for a boy and not big for a boy. He's still going to be taller and stronger than you.
Right.
And like, it's very hard for people who have not firsthand experienced the difference between men's and women's strength, which if you don't expose yourself to it, you probably don't. Like people who aren't exposed to a lot of violence or people who aren't, most women don't like go out there and play football with men.
Of course.
So they don't even like know. But I think a lot of women in particular, I mean, guys at least are around other guys and like play hockey with other guys or play football with other guys. So they like have a sense of how strong men are comparatively. But I think there's a lot of women out there walking around who just don't realize like how much stronger men are than women.
Of course.
Of course, asterisk, asterisk, with exceptions. There are some women that are stronger than some men, but those are the exception, not the rule. And it's hard to even quantify how big a difference just biological sex makes. Right? It's such a huge difference in strength. I mean, in your brain, in every cell in your body, but in strength, and I think that these people that go around and believe these pronouncements by trans activists that say stuff like, oh, well, did you know that like after a year of being on hormone therapy, they have the same actual strength as a woman? Like, that's just not, if you believe
it is such horse bleep, yeah.
You have to be so far removed from the reality. Like you must have never like done a thumb war with a man.
Right.
Because you just don't understand. And that's like the point I was trying to make to my daughters. I was like, yeah, even like the boy that you think is like really weak and pathetic is like stronger than a lot of strong girls of the same age.
Of course.
And puberty makes that so much bigger. Like there are absolutely huge sex differences. And there are important reasons to know people's sex. So, I mean, I think that's going to be the next big battle is the federal government versus states, because there are a bunch of states that have persisted in making it almost impossible to find out someone's biological sex.
How freaking backwards is it?
Yeah.
How freaking backwards is it? By the way, there is a woman, a biological woman running who's a man. No, there is a biological man running as a woman in the women's category in the Boston Marathon this year. Once I can remember his name, I will be betting on that person to win. As a matter of fact, I will be cheering that person on, maybe down there at the Boston Marathon.
Steve from Merrimack wants to know what a thumb war is. It's like, I was trying to find like the most pathetic contest of strength that I can imagine. It's something. Did you ever do this?
I remember thumb wars.
In like school when you're like a kid good. And no, I know, but I'm trying to say, I was trying to pick an example of something really weak, but it's like where you try and hold the other person's, you put your hands like this and you try and hold the other person's thumb down without them escaping. But like I say, almost any contest of strength, grip strength, anything, men are going to have a huge advantage over women. There's a reason women don't play in the NFL.
Right.
Like none, like zero, not as many, not underrepresented.
Oh, by the way,
I think they brought in one woman kicker one time. Is that true?
I guess so. I don't know. But
or maybe that was just college. I don't remember.
Maybe. But here's another thing, too, about, I hope you're all safe because Trump's going to kill you all. It's like, just because he's not letting you be the freaking power forward on the soccer team, on the girls' soccer team,
right,
doesn't mean that you're getting killed. All that means is that you have to dial back your cheating a little bit to move more towards reality. Because your birth certificate is going to be changed back to mean like reflect your purse.
Yeah, you're not being genocided. Just calm down.
The moment you don't get one of the things that you demand to get, that everybody has to bend over backwards in Fantasyland giving you, doesn't mean you're suddenly, that you're being genocided. That it's like.
So Mark in the chat brings up a point too, that the Massachusetts sports rules allow boys to play on girls' teams if a school offers no boys' team. And this is a fascinating one because this is actually, and this has been going on for a long time. Charm in the chat, who I think is Dave from Florida, says that when his sister played on the Sachems in 1984, a dude played on Amesbury. And this has been a thing for a long time. This way predates the transgender rules.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
We have. And, my sister played field hockey, and she said that because field hockey really in the United States is considered a girls' sport, which it's not in other countries.
Right.
So a lot of times these boy players are boys who've played field hockey in other countries, often like former British colonies. Like field hockey is big for guys in like India and stuff, right? So, she said that there were teams that had a boy and that they considered it hugely unfair, but that also they would always try and recruit boys to play field hockey on their team at their school so they could have one. But everybody knew it was stupid. And the original thought behind the rule, and this has come up in a few different sports in Massachusetts, was that if there was no girls' team offered, that a girl could play on a boys' team for something. That's what the rule is designed to allow. So that, like, if there's no team for a girl, she'll get a chance to play on the boys' team. But because in Massachusetts, like, the rules have to be applied in both directions. But obviously that's stupid because the sports advantage only exists in one direction. It's not like, some sports girls have an advantage and some sports boys have an advantage.
Right. Well, that rule's a bad rule. There should be
It is a bad rule. It's been around for many, many decades, and it should not exist. Before the whole trans thing even happened to this was an ongoing issue in Massachusetts sports. Field hockey is a big one where it came up. There was also an example where there was a swim team that had this. I remember when you were on Michael Graham talking about this because there was a boy who held a bunch of girls swimming records because he was swimming on the girls' team.
Travis Kelce, Alice.
Oh, yeah?
He was tested.
It's a great honor. I think, no matter who the president is, I know I'm excited because it's the biggest game of my life, and having the president there, it's the best country in the world. So it'd be very cool.
So President Trump will be there. Obviously, Taylor Swift will be there. What needs to happen is Trump needs to get into Taylor Swift's box. Well, that'll be the Chiefs box. So I assume he's going to be in both boxes saying hi to ownership. That would be fantastic. Because remember, you're not allowed to steal. Who had to apologize?
It's the Chiefs there too.
The a-holes of Philadelphia.
Eagle?
Yeah. Who somebody just had to apologize. Somebody who we didn't even know was successful anymore just had to say sorry for performing at one of Trump's events, I think. Some pop star. That'll be a big test because will Taylor say hello to the president?
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because she does hang around. She's
Mahomes.
Obviously a liberal, but she hangs around with the Mahomeses, who obviously are Trumpy. She hangs around with Lana Del Rey, who obviously is Trumpy.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, but she hangs around with Butker. Butker's on that team, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's obviously very Trumping.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that a lot of men in pro sports are Trumpy. Like, just because you can't have that much testosterone and like vote for Kamala Harris, it's like not humanly possible. But Mike says Jewel.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Jewel, and that is a shame, by the way. Jewel.
But I mean,
2025. That was a tough look, Mike.
Taylor Swift has a lot of relationships with the country music scene, and a lot of those people are Trumpy. Because she came up in country music. So, I mean, Lana Del Rey, I mean, I don't know if she's specifically said anything about Trump, but she obviously sort of, like, culturally leans that way. So it's an interesting question. Like, you can't, and she's avoided even, and I said this at the time because she endorsed Kamala Harris, quote unquote, but it was a very lukewarm endorsement, I thought. She was saying, like, because she said at the end, like, everyone should do their research and vote for who you think is the best. It wasn't like go out and vote for Kamala. It's really important to save our democracy,
Right.
you know? So I think that, I mean, I think she's a Kamala supporter, but I think that she's very aware that she's in a social group that doesn't all feel that way, and that she's not gonna bow to everybody and like deny all her real life social connections and cut them all off in honor of a bunch of parasocial relationships from people on the internet who are yelling at her to say specific things.
Administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes, and we're just not going to let it happen, and it's going to end, and it's ending right now, and nobody's going to be able to do a damn thing about it, because when I speak, we speak with authority.
It was a great signing ceremony today with him, with all those girls around him.
Yeah, Mark says Lana Del Rey is Trumpy. I don't know that she's ever said anything specifically publicly, but she's like married to the alligator swamp man guy and stuff. And she's done things like hung out and like waitressed in a Waffle House for a day. And like she is very like in that milieu kind of. Splash in the chat says she's an oddity because she's Trumpy despite having 99% of her fan base being LGBTQ and the other being me. Mark in the chat, Splash in the chat, everybody seems to like Lana Del Rey. Lana tries to hide it, but she comes out on occasion. She married a redneck gator hunter from Florida. Yeah. I mean, I like her a lot too. So, Steve from Merrimack wants to buy a Trump condo in Gaza.
I love that.
That's why we're having our next Burn Barrel gathering. It's in the resort community of the Gaza Strip.
Alice, Taylor Mathis, you know her?
That sounds familiar. How do I know?
She's one of the girls with the huge rack who does like bets.
Oh.
Fit check, like Lucy Bird.
Yeah.
But different.
Oh, right. She's the one who was in the fight with Lucy Bird
Exactly.
over who invented walking and saying bets.
Exactly. Well,
like that's like the most
I'm looking at this
original
picture of Taylor
concept ever.
Mathis in a waterfall with her large rack with water cascading.
Are you back?
Water cascading down her breasts as she's exuding great pleasure. Alice,
Are you back? You feeling something?
thoughts? What do you bet?
What do I think?
Yes.
Maybe a tickle, but not like fully there.
I'm not back.
You're not back. You don't
see-
feel anything.
I see this as being a lot of trouble. It seems like work. The whole thing just seems like work. I don't see it. All right, shall we do the chat?
I guess we should go to the chat.
Finally put a shotgun in this horse.
Everybody feels bad for me that you're not into me anymore.
Yeah, I am not. It is true. No, I mean, I like your personality, and today I used some of the onions you cut.
That's good.
Yeah. So
I'm glad to be able to provide some pleasure to you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Anything else? It feels like we have another piece of Mitch McConnell took a header today. He's out there talking to the press with a huge bandage on his head. He says, get rid of him. Come on. The guy's going. This is a great Twitter meme with Trump holding a executive order saying gays can't talk in that voice anymore.
So have you gotten any attraction towards like men?
No.
Nothing for
I'm
anybody.
repulsed by that. No. Women, I'm not repulsed by the women.
Mark's not buying it in the chat.
It's nothing. I'm telling you. I'm new here too. I assume this is all part of this COVID cold thing I have or whatever it is going. I assume because it's been a weird week, like weird 7 days, where I've been all sorts of it's been all sorts of nuts.
Sorry, this is happening to you.
No, it's like I said, it's in a way there's a certain tension. Today I was just working my way, taking my time in the Newburyport Market Basket, then took my time in the Newburyport Shaw's, and no distraction. You see a woman over there, and she's just blonde or whatever, and it's like, usually you got the you see the beautiful woman in the produce section, the blonde, and you walk past and maybe she'll say hi and you'll say hi and whatever, and you're like, okay.
How do men get through their day with all these distractions going on? I just go to the store, nothing happens. I'm not like hoping a man says hi to me in the produce
as a guy,
aisle.
what you do is you go to light speed and get yourself to the other corner of the grocery store and try to arrange another flyby and see if anything takes. Because 2 hellos means something, you know.
You guys have a connection now.
Exactly. I'm not doing light speed launches to the other part of the grocery store. It's like totally pressure free. It's kind of nice being a nothing sexual. It's kind of nice. Now, what'll happen now, in that I'm not interested, is that women will be into me now, because that's how it works. Because your God works like that. And ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Can I help you?
Tom just found himself in Market Basket, and next thing you know, I can't read this. Tom just found himself in Market Basket, and next thing you know, he's on the receiving end of a public bathroom glory hole.
So the very attractive Sandy Cortez is continuing her bit by going after Elon Musk.
Yeah.
There was another uninformed and unintelligent video where she called Elon a stupid billionaire. It was nothing short of a political ad to boast her future political aspirations. I'm wondering where that idea came up for her to do this. Perhaps it was done in the Tesla that she owns and drives around in.
That's
true. I wonder if Sandy realizes that Elon Musk owns Tesla. What a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
I assume she does. I think she's addressed that before. But
they also make bumper stickers now that people can get that say like, I got this before he was like this.
Imagine that. Imagine the Tesla itself driving it is such an important virtue signal that you have to then amend your virtue signal with a literal another virtue signal. Oh, by the way, no.
I only got this because I love the environment, not because I like Elon Musk.
I'm the person you think I am, okay? I'm not like other... Yeah, she's just grabbing onto the news cycle. Elon's in the news cycle. She wants to be part of whatever's in the news cycle. She can do it from her kitchen in whatever. She has lost a step, too. She has. And that's even straight me would have told you that.
You got to love the political theater of the Democrats standing out in front of the USAID building, yelling that this won't happen. We're going to fight it. We're going to stop it. We're going to do A, B, and C. They are already in the building. You cannot unring that bell. Morons. I can't believe liberals believe this crap.
And the more they stand out there and jump up and down and talk for violence in the street, etc., and all the work product that's coming out of there is just revelations about people who have been bribed.
Mostly people standing outside the building protesting. You know, the same ones. And it's funny because this like thing where they do protests instead of governing.
Right. Yeah.
This worked on like Biden when it was their own party in power. But do you think if Cori Bush sits on the Capitol steps and eats Oreos for a day, Trump is going to end evictions in America?
No, he'll comment in the Oreo eating. I can guarantee you that. But no, no.
I can't believe liberals believe this crap. The Democrats never deliver. They react.
Right.
And then they go on their separate way. That's what they do. They come out to try to enrage everybody. And then what do? They walk away, go back to their office, and just collect money from their special interest groups.
Totally.
It's hilarious, and I love it. I hope that a lot of homes are up for sale in the Washington, D.C. Area after this. Amazing. 57.
Wouldn't that, Dr. Cheswick, wouldn't that be a great like news item to see? Just all the homes for sale and all the prices.
Home values drop, yeah.
Oh, Love it.
Yeah, couldn't happen to a better bunch of people. Yeah, maybe they'll hunger strike next. Do you remember like the 8-hour hunger strike they did?
Yeah.
I forget even what they were protesting. But
Remember AOC and the other two pretended to be arrested with their hands behind their back, even though the cops are like, you're not under arrest. It's such a, oh my goodness, freaking ridiculous.
Tom, will you go lay down with this bit that you're not interested in women right now?
It is not a bit.
You know and I know the only reason why you're defending this person you interviewed from January 6th is because she's a woman.
Steve, you know me, and that would be an accurate accusation to make, because I would do that just because she's a woman. But I'm doing it despite the fact she's a woman.
Right.
Yeah, I am not taken in. I am taken in physically right now by 0 human being females on the earth. It's the only time I've ever had the upper hand in whatever game they don't know is being played. But that is it. But I am that woman, I stand behind her because she's just a nice mom. She's a nice lady. She wasn't weird or anything.
And if that was a guy, you would want said person in jail for over a decade.
No, she didn't do anything but hit a
she
window.
Did break a window with a chisel.
Stop it with this bit. I'm not buying it. Nobody's buying it.
Why wouldn't somebody buy it? Like, is it a bragging thing? It's a weird thing that I'm going through.
I think people think you pretend things for attention.
Really? Why this? I don't even get it. I don't even find it that interesting. Well, I guess I do find it interesting because I've never been in this situation before where I'm not getting anything. Like, I don't.
The signal is broken.
Right. And
or I guess your receptor is broken.
Or it's just like it's possible that part of me had only 160,000 miles on it, and we've hit 161. I mean, I've also done my part.
Yeah.
I have.
But you're still kind of sick. Let's let you get better, and then we'll make an evaluation. Right. I don't think we have to decide this is like permanent right now.
Point where I'm also sure that if Nancy Mace or Christy Nome showed up to your house with a pot of pasta, you wouldn't turn either one of them away and telling them that you're not interested in women. So please stop it, Tom. No one's buying it. This bit, in the words of Tom Shattuck, is rubbish. Move on to another one, please.
I would certainly take the pasta.
Steve says one guy who is interested in women to another.
How dare he? How dare he? I would take the pasta. I am more interested in pasta. We had it the other night here in the.
You did, but that was gone for a while too, though, and that came back.
That's right, that did come back. But man, I don't think. Well, you should have seen it was this vermicelli and it was thick and heavy with butter and cheese and oh god, the texture. Oh.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Tom,
yes.
Now that you are a fully maturated homosexual, I feel compelled to try and snap you out of it. In addition, I've influenced Alice. We're going to help you try and pray the gay away at a Serbian mass of 4 hours this coming Sunday. I also recommend that you do as I did tonight. Go to Ristorante Molise in Amesbury, Massachusetts.
Ooh.
I want you to have, as I did, a beautiful Grey Goose martini, 3 olives, very dry, followed quickly by a gigantic glass of a hearty Cabernet. And you will then eat the pollo vodka, the vodka chicken, which is the spiciest freaking dish in the Merrimack Valley. You're gonna enjoy that. And you're also going to enjoy the fact that they have a server there, a waitress, who is a Gina Gershon lookalike, a dead ringer. Gina Gershon in her prime. Okay?
Here we go.
You need help, kid. And this is, I'm writing a prescription. And the prescription is pollo vodka, Gina Gershon, and Alice. Thank you.
Sounds fantastic. Sounds good. Sounds good. I don't think I've been there. I haven't been there.
We've talked about it before.
Restaurante Molise?
Molise.
Molise?
Mm-hmm.
We have?
Yeah, I forgot, either on the food show or somebody told us about it before. Yeah.
Really? How come?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know where. Okay, so I know Amesbury. I'll have to figure that out. Now, the old me, let me tell you something, Steve. The old me would have found them on Facebook, would have found her being friends with them, would have found her. The old me would have put this together. I used to be a very good, when I back in my straight days, I was a very good Facebook stalker when I was compelled. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Doesn't. It's over.
Sorry this is happening to you.
It's not really. It's maybe something different is happening.
So you like it?
I'm curious because I'm not tortured by like no outlet for romance or anything because it's good. That's gone. It's like I miss that as much as I miss skydiving. I do. I'm fine. As a matter of fact, I'm probably better. Maybe now I can reach my greatness now that I'm not distracted by my fruitless, attempt to be romantic. Right? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you looking at me?
I'm reading the chat.
Okay. Well, this has been a show for the ages, I would say. Absolutely. Anything else going on?
Oh, I think that's it from me tonight. I got to go pick up our kids pretty soon. Like now. So.
Okay.
I got to go.
Hold on. Don't leave yet. Hold on. Phil for a second.
I also forgot to turn on the scene switcher today. So.
Has it just been me?
No, it's been both of us. On the split screen, but it's just the one screen. So sorry about that. Those of you who enjoy all the ceiling shots that Tom set up around the room, that's you missed out on those today. So I'm sorry. My fault. Send that to the complaints department.
This is me putting the proper end to this particular show. Whew.
Well, despite Tom's feelings about it, I had fun. Thank you so much for listening,
Not
everybody.
saying I didn't have fun. I'm just saying.
Thanks for joining us in the chat. If you want to
Once again, this is a great example. Those of you who complain about the chat in the messages, messages in the chat were the show today.
So. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the chat messages. Thank you for joining us in the chat on the Patreon live stream. If you want to join for that, that's at patreon.com/burnbarrel. If you like listening for free, burnbarrelpodcast.com.